with the latest updates and insights on world news as it relates to Bible prophecy. Here's Alan Horvath. This is what the LameStream Media is not telling you.
Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. The Wall Street Journal quoted Ahmed al-Assad, chairman of the Lebanese Option Party, last week, where al-Assad said, "Long gone are the days when a large portion of the Lebanese population believed that Hezbollah is there to protect them and Lebanon." He continued saying, "Most Lebanese now see Hezbollah as a militia that works for the Iranian regime and obeys Tehran's orders. The war in Syria has been a big financial burden on Hezbollah, and the cash coming from Tehran is not what it used to be. Most young men join Hezbollah not because they believe in its talk about resistance, but simply because it's the only option for the poor, unemployed, and uneducated Shiites to earn a few $100s a month. Now the U.S. is negotiating a nuclear deal with the Iranian regime that will see Tehran get a windfall of up to $150 billion. With so much cash on hand, Tehran would be eager to give a good boost to Hezbollah." Still quoting al-Assad, "There is no doubt that a nuclear deal with Iran would be a nightmare for my beloved Lebanon and for all the other countries in the Middle East that are controlled or could be controlled by Iranian proxy groups. With this deal, my Lebanon won't be able to free itself from the control of Hezbollah." Close quote. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Monday, June 29th, Ynet News reported 4 Israelis wounded when they came under gunfire near Shiloh in the West Bank. This is the 4th attack in 4 days and the 6th terror attack since the beginning of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan 20 days ago. Ben Hartman of the Jerusalem Post reported that 27-year-old Malachi Rosenfeld was one of 4 men shot at close range by gunmen in a passing car north of Jerusalem on Monday night. More than a dozen bullets were fired into the vehicle. On Tuesday, June 30th, a video statement was issued from an ISIS stronghold in Syria addressed to the tyrants of Hamas, declaring, quote, "We will uproot the state of the Jews, Israel, and you, Hamas, and Fatah, and you will be overrun by our creeping multitudes. The rule of Sharia, Islamic law, will be implemented in Gaza in spite of you." Close quote. David Albright of the Institute for Science and International Security reported that the destroyed Al-Kibar reactor site in Syria is now under ISIS control. Syria is believed to be hiding assets associated with its past undeclared nuclear efforts, including an alleged stock of 50,000 kilograms of natural uranium. That's enough for at least 3 to 5 nuclear weapons, if enriched to weapon grade, as well as nuclear-related equipment, including nuclear scientists and engineers still present in the country. There is a concern that nuclear material could end up in the hands of terrorists, pariah states, or those who may wish to sell it on the black market. On Wednesday, July 1st, as many as 70 soldiers and civilians were killed in one of the most sophisticated attacks on the Egyptian army in decades. Throughout the day, militants were perched on rooftops in Sheikh Zayed, a town of 60,000, firing on security installations. The militants used Russian-made Kornet anti-tank missiles, mortars, and anti-aircraft guns. Security sources said 11 died when a car bomb exploded at a military post in North Sinai. One of at least 6 targeted along with a police station. The militants also took soldiers captive and seized several armored vehicles. The Egyptian army used F-16 jet fighters, Apache helicopters, and tanks to stop the militants. Major General Hisham el-Halabi said that the total number of attackers exceeded 300. The Israeli army deployed additional troops and was on high alert along its border with Egypt. The army was monitoring the fighting across the border using UAVs and was preparing for every scenario, including infiltration by jihadists. The Israel Security Agency uncovered a large Hamas cell in the city of Nablus in the West Bank. Some 40 people were arrested, including senior Hamas members who have been jailed repeatedly. Hamas sought to establish a central headquarters in Nablus, appoint regional chiefs, and set up infrastructure in areas such as education, finance, communications, intelligence, gaining support, charity, transferring financial assistance to Hamas prisoners and their families, and laying the foundation for military action. Then on Thursday, July 2nd, the Egyptian army displayed some 60 dead bodies of Islamic State fighters brought in from the recent fighting and laid out in rows. Israel has received a clear strategic warning. There is an armed force operating in Sinai, a group of Egyptian Bedouin with a jihadist ideology and foreigners who over the past 6 months have turned into an established military force. The IDF has increased its observations and intelligence gathering deep into Sinai. Hamas has revived several tunnels under the border between Egypt and Gaza, which bypass the 1.5-kilometer buffer zone the Egyptians have created with tunnels that are 2.5 to 3 kilometers long. Friday, July 3rd, rockets from Sinai struck Israel. The Islamic State's Egypt affiliate, Sinai Province, said it had launched 3 Grad rockets toward occupied Palestine. Israeli police said they found remnants of the rockets in an open area. Syrian opposition rebels launched a large-scale attack on regime strongholds in the northern province of Aleppo, killing and wounding some 80 people. This is the heaviest attack by rebel forces Aleppo has witnessed in the past 2 years, as more than 400 shells fell on regime-held areas. A video depicting the drowning of 5 people in the Iraqi city of Mosul by ISIS was released online. A masked man leads the 5 victims, charged with espionage, into an iron cage, which is then lifted into a swimming pool by a crane as 2 cameras fill the suffering of the people underwater. Then on Saturday, July 4th, the Islamic State released a video showing 25 Syrian government soldiers being executed by teenagers in the ancient amphitheater in the city of Palmyra. The latest publicity stunt by pro-Palestinian activists ended harmlessly as Israel's Navy intercepted a ship off the coast of Gaza that was attempting to break the blockade. But, like previous Gaza flotillas, the effort has little to do with the plight of the people of Gaza and everything to do with the long war being waged to end Israel's existence. Psalm 83 again. More to the point, the continued focus on Gaza by those calling themselves advocates for human rights At the very moment that a genuine human catastrophe is occurring inside Syria without much of response from the international community, tells us all we need to know about the Israel bashers. While the situation in Gaza is not pleasant, the popular notion of a humanitarian crisis there is a myth, and that is because there is no shortage of food or medicine. It is true that there is a shortage of building materials because most of the concrete brought into Gaza is being used for tunnels or elaborate fortifications by Hamas. Those who want to help Gazans need to think of ways to free them from the despotic control of Hamas, which executes its enemies without mercy and represses every kind of free expression as it enforces its ruthless Islamist ideas on the population. And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Make sure you hit that like button on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere else you see it. You can share this video with all your favorite networks by clicking the share button below this video. For weekly insightful newscasts by Alan, make sure you click that YouTube subscribe button.
I don't like crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.